Democrats, led by AOC, thought today would be the day to have their voices heard as they begged for help from the White House to fix the migrant mess. Man, were they wrong.
Our cities are testament to the many immigrant communities that have shaped our past and are propelling us into the future. We set up this center here at the Roosevelt Hotel to process these migrants to make sure they're fully vaccinated. Thank you. I'm happy to be here.
Here to react, host of Piers Morgan Uncensored on Fox Nation, Piers Morgan. There's just something so delicious about seeing that.
AOC is uniquely irritating and self-righteous, so watching her get cornered at the very apex of her incessant virtue signaling meeting harsh reality was delicious. It was delicious because her terrified face as she confronted the reality of all her rhetoric about this issue coming back to haunt her, and the public making it very clear, very, very clear that this is all completely ridiculous and it's on her. And she couldn't deal with it. She looked terrified.
So, Piers, I was watching it live, and I actually couldn't hear what she was saying because the protesters were so loud, but I went back and read it, and her idea is not to fix the border, secure the border, stem the flow of migrants. Her idea was we need more money from the federal government and communities to deal with the migrant crisis, which will not end it. Number two, she wants work permits for those who've come to the country to compete with low-end American workers, driving wages further down. And then she wants protections for Venezuelans, who, by the way, are fleeing Venezuela because of the very same policies that she's advocating for here in the United States.
And you know where she isn't? She isn't on the border, where she spent most of the time during Donald Trump's presidency. You may remember crying at the border. Now she's never ever down there because the reality again is that whether it's in America or the UK, where we have all these small boats coming in carrying illegal immigrants, or Italy, wherever it may be, the problem is the same.
Hi friends, it's Tisha Powell. So you just saw a segment on Fox News with AOC, and you could tell AOC wants these illegal migrants. However, there are 500,000 homeless people in the United States, and AOC is not addressing that. Most of those homeless people are U.S. citizens. So homeless U.S. citizens are being treated a lot less than an illegal migrant that just walk into the country without papers, without permission, without anything. No rules, nothing. They just walk in, and AOC and big government just want to print more money to give to them. I call that madness, okay? I call that madness. We already owe $33 trillion. How are we going to be able to support all these migrants when we have so many homeless people in the United States and we have problems paying our own bills? We haven't addressed the $33 trillion owed, but we're telling more migrants come in.
Everything is more expensive. Prices overall are about 13% higher than they were in April 2021, with the cost of groceries rising by nearly 20% over that time, and the cost of gas up 22%. It's even expensive to stay home. For example, the cost of electricity has surged 21%.
Reducing inflation is the number one long-term objective of central banking right now. That's true in the U.S. as well as globally.
Sometimes inflation is like a shock because it destroys the consumer's real income.
We look back in the early days of inflation, the Fed was using this term transitory to describe inflation because they thought a lot of the things that were causing prices to go up in the near term were related to the pandemic. They thought eventually that stuff would just dissipate. Well, it really hasn't.
The Federal Reserve is using the most powerful tool it has to slow down the inflation creep: interest rate hikes.
It is a very effective way. The problem is it's as much an art as a science. Different parts of the economy respond differently to changes in interest rates.
One of the things that people don't understand is that inflation really might be benefiting them in ways they don't fully acknowledge. There are winners and losers. There are certainly people in the economy for whom this is the major challenge, and there are people in the economy for whom this is a big opportunity.
So why does inflation stick around? Is anyone benefiting from it? And how do we get rid of it?
Inflation is simply the rate of increase in prices in the economy.
Inflation can occur for a number of reasons. One is supply and demand issues, meaning there's too much money to go around or not enough things to go around.
We saw a piece of segment from CNBC, And they're saying, why is inflation so high? All right. We printed $33 trillion. America owes $33 trillion. Money was printed and given, not worked. So we just picked it off a tree and then we just gave it out. So that's the number one reason inflation is high. Number two, as you could tell, that inflation is going to stay high because Wall Street went and bought up a lot of the real estate. Anytime there's a high inflation, assets are high, debt high. So we see rich people like Wall Street chasing real estate, and they did this because they know that the American dollar is dead. All right, I know people don't want to accept that, but we've never owed $33 trillion before, and there's just no way out. So inflation is supposed to be under 2%. That's the targeted amount. Ever since big government came in, we have not gone under 2%. So now government is saying we're never going back under 2%. So things are going to remain high. Get used to it. Yes. House is not coming down. In fact, houses are the same as it was in 2008. 2008, if you chart it, 2008 and 2020, houses were the same. Okay. So that shows you that that's not going to come down. The average home is $430,000. Average townhome is $265,000. So that's why inflation is high. Government, people wanted socialism. People in the United States begged for socialism. They want to stay home and they wanted government to give them money. And government did that. They gave us $33 trillion worth of money. And now guess what? There's too much money on the road. So when there's too much money on the road, everybody has money to spend. Everything goes up. It doesn't come down. So there's three ways that you're going to hedge yourself against the inflation. So according to CNBC, they said that this is a shock. And they said that the government thought this was a transition phase, that it was a pandemic why inflation was high. Obviously, it's not. The pandemic is gone and inflation is still here. The government used the one tool it has, interest rate, and it raised interest rate up, and the inflation is still not going under 2%. It's that stubborn. It's like, you don't give away $33 trillion and think that you're going to fix it, okay? So there are some winners in this. Wall Street is winning. Anybody who purchased asset will win. And there are losers in this. Anybody who has a lot of debt, they're going to be losing. And will inflation stick around? Yes, inflation will stick around, probably for the rest of our adult life. So here are three ways you're going to hedge yourself against the inflation. Number one, you're going to save. Number two, you're going to invest. And number three, you're going to pay down bad debt. Why are you paying down bad debt? Because you need to save money to get in an asset. Bad debt, credit cards, average person owes $15,000, that's got to go. Student loans, average person owns $38,000, that's got to go. And the number three bad debt is a car payment. The average person owes $32,000 for a car. All three's got to go. All right? Then you want to start saving. If your car payment, the average person pay $527 a month for a used car, $727 a month for a new car. That don't include gas and insurance. If you can get rid of your car payment, 10 months, that's $5,000 you save. Bingo. How much you need to get a house? $265, FHA 3%. So you need about $8,000. Zillow is giving away $2,600, 1%. So basically you need about $5,600. If you get rid of your car payment,